Alright, hey everybody. So, first things first, my dad actually got me an exercise bike, and I'm actually right here in my apartment. And since this bike has, a sort of a, like, angled kind of shelf kind of thing, and I've learned that that's a good camera angle, I'm trying this out for the first time to see how much of a good view that will.
0 people.
What the heck? I'm using voiceover on my iPhone, so if it keeps talking, I'll go ahead and turn speech off.
Speech off.
Okay, so I figured, if I add video to this rather than just audio, that might attract more people to this. So I hate to say this, but I'm going to be brutally honest and tell you the honest truth here. So I've kind of pretty much kept this a secret, but I think I've had enough, I've explained it to enough people already that it's like, yeah, they haven't really been helpful. And so I figured it's honestly time to tell the world the true and painful story of why and how I hit absolute rock bottom. So here's the thing. So you guys might remember the fact that I really like this girl named Haley, right? I love Haley because she has perfect pitch. She loves all the music that I love, especially, opera and, classical music. And, all the music I show Haley, she always likes it. Like, hey, I like this stuff. Or, like, there's never been anything that I've showed Haley that she doesn't like, right? And she sent me a whole bunch of things that I reacted to that she was the one that sent me a lot of the things that I reacted to, right? Well, I literally thought that, Haley and I seemed to be such a good match for each other that I literally thought things were going to work out romantically, like relationship-wise, with Haley. But unfortunately, I have to say this was basically, what made me, I guess you could call it like a mental gunshot. Because at the end of July, Haley told me she is, well, I'm afraid to say it because, I know that Haley's very sensitive to what I say about her. But let me just keep it this way. It starts with an L and ends with an N. It's not a swear word, but a synonym is that, it's a girl that's attracted to girls. Like, a girl is interested in other girls and not guys. And to me, that's like the worst thing in the world because, I don't know anybody who has perfect pitch, loves my favorite music, and also, is musically obsessed. Like, Haley talks about music all the time, which is constantly entertaining for me. And I have literally tried a whole bunch of dating sites, Facebook dating pages, because I badly want a girlfriend and I hate being single. So I've tried a whole bunch of dating sites, Facebook pages, all that stuff, for people with perfect pitch or for blind people, because a lot of blind people have perfect pitch, right? But it turns out nobody's interested in me. And just because Haley, just because I know that things are not going to work out with Haley means that I'm absolutely afraid I'm going to be single for the rest of my life because, there is a kind of a story behind this too. I have dated a couple of people who don't really have perfect pitch and who aren't very musical, right? And it obviously did not go really well because the stuff I really liked talking about, they just never understood. And, people with perfect pitch seem to have this sort of bonding language that, like a sort of bonding language that can only, happen between two people with perfect pitch. And I just noticed that it just doesn't really happen when only one of the two people has perfect pitch. And that sort of bonding language is something I absolutely feel like I have to have in a romantic relationship because, I've read stories where there are friends that people love better than who they actually end up with as far as a relationship is concerned. And that's what I'm absolutely afraid is going to happen between Haley and me, because I think Haley's the coolest girl in the world, but just because things are never going to work out with her, I'm absolutely afraid that there won't be any girls as cool as Haley. And I badly want a girlfriend with perfect pitch who, doesn't hate bagpipes, doesn't hate good opera singers, especially my favorite opera singers. And I really don't know how this is going to work out. But there are some things that I can mention as well. So, in high school, I wasn't single. Partly because, I had all the homework took a long time and all that stuff. And especially as a blind person, right? Well, what happened was, in 2014, when I went to a place for blind people to learn to become more independent and, learn to live on their own, I met this girl named Deborah. And Deborah was originally from Nigeria. And I thought Deborah was really, really cool because she had a super amazing singing voice. She had perfect pitch. And she was very musical. She played piano really well. And even before I met Deborah, I still, the ultimate girlfriend I wanted, was somebody with perfect pitch. And everything was great because, Deborah and I were in touch with each other from 2014 to 2017. But the problem was that Deborah is Pentecostal and I was raised Catholic. And so Deborah, because Deborah didn't want to marry, somebody who was a different religion than she is, she had to just end up breaking up with me. And obviously that made me really sad, right? And then I was single for a while, until the end of 2017, when this other blind girl, Bree Costigan, was going to have her first year in college at Alma College, where I went to college. My sister and I went to college. And I hung out with Bree a lot. We would often visit each other's dorm rooms and stuff like that. But the problem with Bree is that she didn't want a relationship either. So I thought, well, who wants me then? Because very few people like the kind of things that I like from a musical perspective. And so, things just didn't really work out with Bree either. But then, kind of unrelated, but my huge love of Italian bagpipes, or zampogne, started kind of really getting to me. And because I knew that there was a lot to learn about that kind of thing, I didn't mind being single for a while in 2018. Because when you get fascinated with a new subject, there's always something, you want to devote time to learn about it, right? So I was single for a while, and then I actually knew Haley since I was 3 years old, and around that time I started adding people on Facebook, like friends, right? And so my sister said, hey, you should friend Haley on Facebook since you've known Haley for a while. And so I did. I friended Haley on November 12th, 2018, and it was good to connect with her. And I thought, wow, she has perfect pitch. She wants to be a good singer. She's very musical. I think it's going to work out. But I took it really slowly because I was, back then with those last few girls, my parents said that I was too quick to ask about relationships. But I hate being single, though, like I said. So, I don't feel normal being single because I don't know anyone else my age who is still single and wants to be single. Almost everyone I know of has a boyfriend or a girlfriend, and that makes me jealous to death because I I'm really lonely here in this apartment all by myself. And, if I had a girlfriend who had perfect pitch and loves my favorite music, that would be really awesome. So anyway, I was, communicated with Haley every single day until about March of 2020 when her mom actually said, well, you know what, Haley's not interested in a romantic relationship with you. And I'm like, what? Why doesn't anybody want to be my girlfriend? And so that was the point where I started trying out dating sites and Facebook pages devoted to people wanting to find relationships, right? And it was also around that time when Haley told me that she's more interested in a girl-to-girl relationship, which made me freak out because I don't know anyone else who, besides Haley, who loves my favorite musical styles, who has perfect pitch, who is obsessed with music and all that kind of stuff. And after that, I'm like, I really don't know what to do. And so then I tried out, in 2022, I got some birthday money. So on my birthday, I can't remember how much money I got for my birthday. So I thought I'd use that birthday money to try out Match.com because I thought Match was one of the best dating sites. I've heard that Match was one of the best dating sites out there, right? So I figured if everyone loves Match, hopefully I'll find a girlfriend in no time, somebody with perfect pitch who doesn't, who isn't like your typical, girl who, isn't very musical, only listens to country or rap, loves drinking alcohol, and just doesn't understand me. And so I played it safe on Match, though, because I've heard that, I've been told that, Match has a lot of scammers, right? So I played it safe and I waited for people to text me first. I didn't want to reach out to all these girls and say, hey, do you have perfect pitch? Hey, how musical are you? Hey, do you like opera? Do you hate opera? What's your favorite musical style? All that stuff. But only one person texted me, and she didn't have perfect pitch. And even though she sang opera, she preferred slow vibrato, and I hate slow vibrato in opera. And so, needless to say, that girl didn't work out. But besides that, absolutely nobody found me on Match.com even. So that's where I figured, oh my gosh, ever since then, I've been really thinking about trying to, make it known to the world that I hate being single, and being single is quite literally killing me, ruining my health so badly that a lot of people don't even know, a lot of people, don't realize that, this bonding language that only can happen between two people with perfect pitch, a lot of people think that's too trivial. And I actually disagree because, growing up with a sister who has perfect pitch, I just get so used to that I feel like I connect with people really close. with perfect pitch. And so I feel like perfect pitch is, something I also really, really want in a relationship, right? And so pretty soon in, was it January this past year? So January of this year, 2023, my Match profile expired. And I thought, well, I didn't find anybody cool on Match.com anyway, right? And so I thought, well, maybe I'll try out some Facebook pages to see which, girls with perfect pitch are on there. And actually in 2021, I joined a Facebook page called Got Perfect Pitch, literally just to find a match, just to find a matchmate. And unfortunately, nobody found me yet there. I did find a couple friends, which was cool, but there weren't enough younger people. Like, probably Haley and I are probably the youngest people on that page. And so I thought, well, I don't know if I'm ever gonna find anyone, which sucks because I just hate the fact that, people with perfect pitch are exceedingly rare. But people with perfect pitches just don't really understand me, especially like when I like to refer to things, in my own little way, because I have perfect pitch and because a lot of people don't. It's just really hard for them to understand me. And so I tried out a couple of Facebook pages devoted to, singles looking for relationships. And actually in March of this year, this girl named Brittany Simmons found me. And keep in mind, I didn't know that things were not going to work out with Haley even as recent as then, right? I thought Haley was still thinking like, oh, I don't know if I'll do a standard, guy to girl relationship, or if I want to do it like if I'm more attracted to girls. So I kept an open mind with Haley. But I thought Brittany was a cool match because, first of all, Brittany has perfect pitch. Second of all, Brittany is actually minoring in music, which I think is the coolest thing in the world. And, people who have, who are obsessed with music, they're just always entertaining to me. So anyway, Brittany, unfortunately, it came to the point where this was after, so Haley revealed to me that she wants a girl-to-girl relationship in July. And I thought, oh my gosh, like, what the heck is going on? What the heck? Like, I'm afraid if it won't work out with Haley, it won't work out with anyone else. And I was thinking like, oh, thank goodness Brittany found me back in March because, if it doesn't work out with Haley, it could potentially work out with Brittany. But then, when was this? A couple months ago, Brittany told me that a friend from school is interested in a relationship with her instead, and the only other people I know of who have perfect pitch and who are very musical, one of these girls, Gianna, is already dating somebody. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, do you not realize that I hate being single? And then, let's see, there's Gianna, and then there's this other girl, Kendra, who I just met quite recently, and she also has perfect pitch. But the problem is she doesn't like bagpipes, and she doesn't like even my favorite opera singers like Denise Lee or Cecilia Bartoli and, things like that. And so just because Kendra doesn't like the music that I like, I already knew from the get-go that Kendra would not work out, right? And so ever since then, I've been feeling like absolutely hopeless. Like, nobody wants me for a relationship. And I really don't like that because I feel like the last guy in the world who is still single at 27. And I think 27 is really old to still be single. So I hate being single. So, to be honest, if there are any girls who obviously are single, obviously who are straight, but if you're a girl with perfect pitch, obsessed with music more than anything else, because I think anything music related is the most entertaining topic in the world, and at least 18 years old, because, you know, dating somebody underage is not a good idea, but also who was born in 1996 or later. I was born in 1996. I'd prefer girls who are younger than me. So if you have perfect pitch, which, you know, if you don't know what perfect pitch is, it's like where you can hear a note or even just a sound, for example, and you can name the musical note, just like sighted people can identify colors really quickly. So if you have perfect pitch, you know, if you don't dislike bagpipes, if you don't dislike opera, and if you're still single and straight and at least 18 years old, you know, I would love for you to get in touch with me, because I've badly been wanting a relationship since 2017. And I've looked on all the pages. I've tried to look for girls, like, you know, people that I could, you know, potential matchmates, right? And nobody found me at all. And so I feel like nobody wants me for anything these days. And that's why I feel like I've hit rock bottom. So I sure hope that, you know, me, you know, just talking about this in front of the whole world will get somewhere, because I've literally ran out of options where I could look for somebody. And honestly, I'm sure there are a lot more people on YouTube than there are on Facebook. So, I sure hope this gets somewhere. And, if you'd like to get in touch with me, I will put my info in the description of this video. And my, there'll be a link to my Facebook. So if you don't have a Facebook, you can, you know, create a Facebook account and friend me and stuff like that. So, again, if you're a girl who is single, straight, like, you know, you want a standard girl to guy, a guy to girl relationship, at least 18, and has perfect pitch, like you can name the note, that any note that you hear, like any musical note that you hear, and is constantly obsessed with music, you know, if you're looking for a relationship, I would love to, you know, be in a relationship with you, because I've been struggling my head off just to find somebody who I know I'm gonna like. And, you know, I'm afraid that, you know, the last thing I want is for me to love someone like Haley better than who I end up with, because, you know, I like people who are, you know, who have perfect pitch, who can relate to me and stuff like that. And a lot of my friends don't have perfect pitch. And we like to talk about other stuff, but, you know, they just don't really seem as entertaining as somebody like Haley does. And so I'm being totally honest about this. So I sure hope doing this video will get somewhere, because I'm hopelessly single and I hate being single, and I really want a relationship with somebody who, you know, musically understands me, somebody who gets it. And I've tried dating people who don't have perfect pitch, and it just did not really go very well. So hopefully this will, hopefully this can be, I sure hope this gets somewhere, because I've this is like my last resort. I've tried all the platforms I could to reach out to people, and there just isn't, very few people found me. And I don't want to wait for too long, because this coming March I'll be 28, and every single cousin in my extended family are pretty much all married now. And I'm not even in a relationship, and I really want a relationship really, really badly. So, I'm being honest. I'd rather be honest than, tell a lie and keep it a secret or bottle it all up. And, literally, I thought I was about to have suicidal depression, because it seems like everyone gets what they want, and I'm not getting what I want at all. And, because nobody wants me for anything, I don't know what it's gonna take. And if you'd like to know more about the music I like listening to, you can, look at the videos I've uploaded to my channel, or even the playlists, because that has some of my favorite singers in there. And, so I sure hope this will be able to get uploaded to YouTube, and I might do some other videos like in the future, just to let you guys know what kind of person I am, my favorite food, my favorite music, all that stuff, because I feel like I want to let everyone know that I'm looking for somebody, and I don't know what other way to do that than just explaining it here right on YouTube. So I think hopefully this will work, like I said, and hopefully this will get somewhere.
Speech on.